Fast for Word, a reading intervention program presented by Jillian, Reagan, and Martina. Fast for Word is a computer-based reading program intended to help students develop and strengthen the cognitive skills necessary for successful reading and learning. According to manufacturers, 4 key components of the technology-based intervention work together to create the changes in brain function required to achieve universal literacy. Frequency and intensity. Neuroscience research demonstrates that completing a set of learning tasks in a frequent, intense time frame accelerates learning. Adaptivity. Exercises adapt with each keystroke to individual skill levels and responses, keeping students continuously challenged but not frustrated. Simultaneous development. Exercises develop major cognitive and reading skills simultaneously to produce lasting improvements in learning. Timely motivation. Tiered rewards are designed to maximize motivation from start to finish. The following video outlines the theory behind the Fast for Word program.
There is a revolution happening today. Neuroscience and technology are beginning to inform educational techniques by specifically targeting key learning centers of the brain. Using brain imaging techniques, scientists can now identify the areas and neural pathways employed by successful readers. But the best discovery is that teachers can use powerful technology to continually build stronger and more efficient pathways to help the struggling reader. Scientific learning is at the center of this revolution with its FastForWord family of products. FastForWord is a reading intervention product applying scientific findings using technology to build the learning capacity of the brain. How do we learn to read? The development of reading skills begins with a baby's first babble. By hearing stories and language in the environment, the child continues to develop language acquisition. Even nursery rhymes prepare the brain for the sound structure of the native language, which will build into phonemic awareness. 80% of instruction is oral. Clear, sharp sound differentiation is crucial for brain development and the comprehension of written words. An efficient reading-ready brain coordinates sounds to language, language to reading, and reading to comprehension. How does the reading brain work? Reading is a complex process. Just like an orchestra, different areas of our brains are coordinated in time and rhythm to maximize our ability to decode written text. The temporal lobe is the area of the brain responsible for discriminating speech sounds. Misperception of the smallest part of speech, a phoneme, can completely change the meaning of a word or sentence. Listen to ba and da. The consonant part of these syllables is only milliseconds long at the onset of the word, but misperception of this rapid sound can have vast repercussions when listening to instructions and information. Children who have problems in this area will struggle with phonological awareness and decoding words. The frontal lobe is responsible for speech production, reading fluency, grammatical usage, and comprehension of grammar. Children with grammatical comprehension problems also have difficulty with prefixes, suffixes, and complex grammatical sentences. The angular gyrus is an important reading integrator. It's the hub. This area of the brain helps us convert visual input to audio output. It's like the train station that links 2 or 3 important cities together. If the angular gyrus is not well developed, the child may not be able to link the letters C-A-T to the word cat, even though she might have used that word many times. None of these brain areas work in isolation. The brain acts as a network, so when you strengthen one area, it improves the entire network. Using FastForWord cross-trains all areas of the brain known to contribute to reading and language. So what does it take to bring about changes in the patterns of the brain? Frequency and intensity. Just like a muscle, continuous and repetitive practice strengthens the brain. Have you ever met a great athlete who doesn't practice each and every day? Adaptivity keeps the brain engaged in learning. Carefully escalating task difficulty maintains a success rate that is rewarding and challenging. simultaneous development of cognitive skills strengthens the connections of auditory, language, and reading skills and cannot be developed in isolation, not unlike the multiple senses that are used when riding a bicycle. Timely motivation helps facilitate the release of chemicals like dopamine and acetylcholine, which cement brain connections and make them permanent. It is proven that reward-driven motivation produces synaptic change. This is the patented Fast Power Learning Formula incorporated in every FastForWord product. By focusing on the fundamental cognitive skills of memory, attention, processing, and sequencing, Scientific Learning's FastForWord technology has the ability to change the lives of millions of struggling students worldwide. FastForWord technology has the largest research databases on school-based research in the country. To date, there has been close to 1 million product users of FastForWord software by children of all ages. It can be found in thousands of school districts and clinics across the country and in many countries around the world. For further research on scientific learning and the FastForWord family of products, view our website at www.scientificlearning.com or call us today at 888-358-0212.
There are two strains of the program: the FastForWord Language and Literacy Series and the FastForWord Reading Series. The Language Series is intended for students at the elementary level and builds foundational elementary school reading and language skills. There are two programs within the Language Series: FastForWord Language, which focuses on listening accuracy, phonological awareness, and language structures. The second program is the Language to Reading, which emphasizes the link between spoken and written language to guide students to become proficient readers. The FastForWord Reading Series is a leveled program that increases processing efficiency to build reading and comprehension skills. The FastForWord exercises develop critical brain processing efficiency in 4 key areas known as MAPS: memory, attention, processing, and sequencing. The level called Reading Readiness develops pre-reading skills focusing on letter recognition, phonological awareness, and letter sounds. It is geared toward students who are having trouble moving from the spoken word to the written word. This part of the program incorporates MAPS in the following way: building memory by developing the ability to hold a spoken word in working memory while retrieving picture concept associations. Improving attention by developing the ability to focus on tasks and ignore distractions. Developing processing of images and sounds quickly enough to discriminate between their differences. Developing sequencing by using potential clues to identify missing letters. Reading Level 1 emphasizes phonemic awareness, early decoding skills, vocabulary knowledge and skills, and motivation for reading. This level builds memory by developing the ability to hold a spoken word, sentence, or passage in a working memory while recalling letter, sound associations, vocabulary, punctuation rules, or semantic information from long-term memory. It improves attention by requiring focused attention to listen while reading along and sustained attention across multiple passage segments and questions. It develops processing of images and sounds quickly enough to discriminate between their differences. Develops sequencing by using positional clues to identify missing letters, to reorder the letters of a scrambled word, or by tracking the temporal and causal event sequences in passages to answer comprehension questions. Reading Level 2 focuses on applying phonics and decoding strategies, improving word recognition, and understanding the rules for reading comprehension. This level builds memory by having students hold an incomplete sentence in working memory while recalling vocabulary, grammar, and punctuation rules from long-term memory. It improves attention by sustaining interest across multiple passage segments and questions. It develops processing by coordinating the auditory and visual processing of two perceptual streams, speech and written text. It develops sequencing by using word order and grammar to identify subtle difference in meaning among phrases, sentences, and passages. Reading Level 3 concentrates on reading knowledge and fluency with a focus on phonology and spelling, morphological properties and complexity, syntactic complexity, vocabulary, and comprehension. Level 3 builds memory by working on long-term recall of vocabulary and grammatical structures, improves attention by requiring selective attention to grammatical features of similar response alternatives, develops processing of images and sounds quickly enough to discriminate between their differences, develops sequencing by using word order to help determine precise meanings. Reading Level 4 applies knowledge of word origins, word forms, sentence structures, and punctuation rules to increase comprehension. This level builds memory by having students use working memory to compare paragraphs with single-sentence paraphrases, improves attention by enhancing the ability to focus on different aspects of presented vocabulary and ignore distractions, develops processing of images and sounds quickly enough to discriminate between their differences, develops sequencing by using logical relationships, word order, and syntax to identify precise meanings. Finally, Reading Level 5 concentrates on enhancing advanced reading comprehension and expanding vocabulary skills. It builds memory by having students hold words and sentences in working memory while completing or reorganizing sentences and paragraphs. It improves attention by allowing students to selectively focus on critical information while sustaining attention across longer text passages and question sets. Develops processing by enhancing fluency in extracting and integrating meaning from longer text passages. It develops sequencing by enabling the recognition of causal and temporal event sequences in text passages. If you would like to see demonstrations of possible activities for each level, please visit the website. Here are the directions on how to do so. So here's the Fast for Word Reading Series products website. So if you visit the website, you can see here is a list of all of the reading levels. So you can choose one, reading readiness, for example, and it will take you to an overview. And then over on the right-hand side, you can select demo. And then here are all of the possible activities. So you can select one of those, inside the tummy, for example.
Blue circle. Yellow triangle.
So we encourage you to visit the website and have a look at the various activities for each reading level to give you an idea of what they might look like.
We're given brain scans using functional magnetic resonance imaging. After initial scans, the dyslexic children used the FastForWord program for 8 weeks as part of their regular school day. At the end of week 8, brain scans revealed increased activity in the brains of the dyslexic children that represented a partial improvement in the disruptive responses found prior to FastForWord training. Improved language and reading test scores were also reported for the FastForWord group. Researchers concluded that the program may have changed brain areas related to the sound structure of language, which then led to improved language and reading outcomes. A study involving 7 children with LL1 between the ages of 5 and 9 characterized as having normal, nonverbal intellectual abilities, delays in receptive and expressive language development, and reading difficulties, participated in the FastForWord program. The children also received targeted speech and language exercises and games with trained clinicians. Results of this study found that performance on the FastForWord tasks improved significantly during the 4-week period.
In order for the FastForWord program to be successful, students need to be present for all sessions of the program. Absences highly affect the success of the program. The training sessions may be difficult to attend and schedule for teachers. It may be difficult for teachers to motivate students to complete the work since they would be missing out on other subjects. Also, computer graphics for the program may not be age-specific and can cause problems with motivation of students. At one middle school, some students had complained that the computer graphics were babyish and that their assignment to the program had made them feel stupid. Boredom due to the repetition of activities in the program may also become an issue with certain students. More empirical research is needed in support of the FastForWord program. Not all schools may have compatible technological equipment for the program. Schools may also not have sufficient funding to implement the FastForWord program. There are some serious flaws found in the research. Inadequate subject selection criteria, limited control of assessment procedures, lack of control of Rosenthal effects, which are individuals who present treatment should not administer pre- and post-tests, failure to include a no treatment or a delayed treatment control group, and investigators did not collect pre- and post-training samples of spontaneous language.
So, although widely used in many settings, including the TTSB, more reliable research needs to be conducted regarding the effectiveness of the FastForWord program.